You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Here in Michigan, we sacrifice and do the right thing for our fellow Michiganders. When Governor Whitmer mandated we cancel vacations and weddings to help stop COVID-19, we did it. When forced to visit our loved ones through glass windows, as hard as it was, we listened. If, however, you are the governor and you really want to see your family in Florida, because we all miss our families, then go ahead. And if you get caught, just lie. If the governor says no spring break this year, then that goes for all of us. Except, of course, if you are the person in the governor's office who is in charge of vaccine distribution and needing a girl's trip to Florida, then have a good time. Don't worry about failing to fill out the state's vaccine order, missing the deadline to get an additional 360,000 doses during a massive COVID surge. Your tan will be on point this summer. And as much as we all want to get a condo in sunny Gulf Shores, Alabama, we should heed Whitmer's advice. Unless you're her public health director, then bon voyage. Remember, Michigan, we are all in this together. We play by the rules. Unless you're Governor Whitmer or work for Whitmer. And in that case, play by your own rules. Pure hypocrisy. Pure Whitmer.
Welcome to CIRCUMSPICE, the right side of Michigan. All things Michigan from a conservative point of view. Welcome to Circumspice, the right side of Michigan. I am your humble host, Alan Ray. Episode 42. Today, we're going to solve the riddle to life, the universe, and everything. Some of you won't get that joke. Most of you will. Hey, going to be a big show because basically I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I'm totally unprepared. Why? Because it's been a beautiful weekend and I've had a lot of other things to do than prepare for a show. But we'll get through it somehow. Let's go. It's all falling apart. Everything. My computer is running like it's on a 1 gig hard drive. Hopefully my phone holds out because that's what I usually run the podcast through is my phone. And, it seems to be doing okay. The internet's acting wanky today. The chat room won't let me post anything in it. No, there's not. There is not 833,000 cases of coronavirus in Michigan. There are currently 119,505 active positive tests for coronavirus in the state of Michigan. Now, it sounds like a lot, but it's not really. It's no more than the common cold. I absolutely loathe when I see stupidity in a headline like that is pretty much meant to scare you, I don't know, into submission. What are they trying to do here? What's their game plan? Scare you to where you stay home, scare you to where you tune into their newscast all the time and you don't ever do anything again. You don't go anywhere again. You just stay locked up, curled up in a basement somewhere, and you just die curled up in fright. Is that what their end goal is here? Because it seems like that's what's been going on since day one. Anytime any positive news comes out, it's offset by hundreds and hundreds of headlines throughout the nation of just horror. And it's showing. Now, we're going to get into this today, but if you live in the state of Michigan, you're darn well aware of this, that our governor, Queen Gretch, has lifted the mask mandate pretty much anywhere for anybody who has been vaccinated. Now, I have been out on the town pretty much all morning till about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And if I didn't know any better, if I was just judging what was going on in the state of Michigan simply by people wearing masks compared to people not wearing masks, I'd have to say off the top of my head, 98% of the people in the state have been vaccinated. Now, you know that's not right. You know that is not anywhere near correct. I think we're sitting at like 57% right now. Nobody is wearing a mask. Everybody just said, you know what are you going to do? You know, you want my shot record? You're not going to get it. And I've been laughing about it all day. It's been absolutely hysterical. And I felt bad because I had to go into the grocery store and there was a woman in there, probably a little younger than me, almost to the point of crying, almost to the point of bawling. And I heard her made a comment that it's absolute chaos. Nobody's wearing their mask and we're all basically going to die. And it's actually, it's been hysterical. It's funny because, and I feel bad for her in a way because she's scared out of her wits. I'm sure she's a 6 o'clock news watcher. The only information she gets is from the 6 o'clock news in 30-second sound bites, 30 seconds to 3-minute sound bites. And they have told her that you are just without a doubt going to die. If you don't wear a mask, if you don't wear, 10 sheets of aluminum foil on your head and wrap yourself in plastic and put bungee cords around your neck, you are just going to die because of this coronavirus. And she's terrified. You can tell by the look in her eyes. She's like a scared animal. And in a way, I felt really bad for her because the media has done this. In another way, I could very clearly and distinctly see a smartphone sitting in her purse as I walked by her as she was making the comment about chaos reigning throughout the whole state because nobody's wearing a mask anymore. And I heard her, and I looked down there, I was like, you know what? She has access to the exact same information that we talk about on this show. It really is not hard to find the facts. And although I feel bad that she has succumbed to the terror, the panic porn that's being pushed by the media, she seemed like a somewhat reasonable, rational person. Not at that exact moment. She was irrational and freaking out, but I'm sure she had the intelligence to somehow find her way to the store. Did she not? She has a smartphone. I'm assuming she knows how to use it. Does she not? And I'm sure all she ever does is take selfies and take pictures of her food and puts it on social media and puts these, fake pictures up of how good her life is when it's probably just a tragic, train wreck most of the time. She has access to the same information we do. And the funny thing about it is, I've been noticing this, and this has little to do with Michigan. This is more on a national scale, and I try not to do that for this show because it is Circumspice. It is the right side of Michigan, all things Michigan from a conservative point of view, yada, yada, yada. But notice what's happening over the past couple of weeks, especially the past month. They are doing a very slow rollout of the information that they had deemed last year as conspiracy theories, disinformation. Facebook has been kicking people off of there for saying the exact same things, but they're doing a slow rollout of this stuff being factual now. They can't just shove everything out in the public and go, well, here you go. We were lying. We did all this. It was a joke. Get it? And here's the punchline. It was all a joke. No, they can't do that because there'll be an uprising. And there'll be a lot of people that end up in Lake Erie and the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So they can't really do that. So they're doing a slow rollout. And you don't hear the media cover a lot of it. Things like hydroxychloroquine. You didn't hear the media come out and say, oh, hey, the World Health Organization has been wrong. India has been using hydroxychloroquine to 85% success as a prophylactic instead of a therapeutic drug. In other words, they're giving it to people to keep them from getting COVID-19 or coronavirus. And even if they do get it, if their system has hydroxychloroquine in it, it's very mild to no symptoms. They're asymptomatic. So you're not hearing this on the news because if it all breaks at the same time, well, somebody's going to look like a liar. So there you go. So you're getting this slow rollout of things like hydroxychloroquine actually does stop the symptoms, but we're not going to say it too loudly. You get the slow rollout of, oh yeah, by the way, gyms and restaurants and things like that didn't really turn out to be the hot spots of spreading COVID like we thought they would be. In fact, they had very little to do with it. There goes an entire year of Gretchen Whitmer's pompous attitude and shutting everything down. In other words, she has destroyed the restaurant industry and the gym industry basically for no reason at all. Is there any outrage? Is there 5 million people surrounding Lansing right now going, what have you done to us? No. But see, when people like me come on a show like this and say that, like we've been doing for a year now, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You must be one of them Trump people. Not really necessarily. I actually just look at the stats. I look at what's going on. I look at reality. I don't watch the 6 o'clock news. I don't watch TV at all. I miss most of the drama because I don't. And to watch people freak out when I know the stats. Now we have little kids wearing masks for no reason at all. Now I saw that today. I saw a family. Okay. The family obviously was vaccinated except for the little kids. The little kids were wearing masks. I I had to just refrain myself from walking up and ripping those masks off and screaming at the parents, don't you ever put a mask on that child again. Do you know what kind of psychological damage you are causing to them? I didn't do it. I didn't play Karen. I was nice. I did the thing, just walked away, got in the car, and my wife and I both kind of went off on a rant about it for another 15 minutes. But it's crazy. And it's having a long-term effect, not just psychologically, but socioeconomically. It's having an effect. I mean, it's affecting everything. We're seeing the results of the stupidity of shutting everything down, freaking everybody out, and making everybody curl up and want to die in their own living rooms. We now have an economy that's tanking as fast. There's no way they can hide the economy tanking as fast as it is. I don't have to tell you, when you go to the gas station, you're going to be paying up to $1 more a gallon for gas. Construction materials, wood has gone up 300%. Food has gone way up in price. Everything's increasing. Inflation is hitting hard. And guess who that affects? Even though if you turn on the 6 o'clock news, the dumbed down 30-second Reader's Digest version, the narrative they're pushing, they say, oh, well, the price is going up is actually good for the economy. No, it's not. It is a direct attack on the working middle class. Not the poor. They get their food for free. They get government funded. Not the rich. They can afford it. The working middle class. And now we're seeing signs that it's affecting it. Detroit News, just this afternoon, middle class growth stagnates in Detroit. Future City reports find. And we're watching it in real time. Let's read this a little bit. A new report by Detroit Future City finds that middle class lifestyle remains out of reach for most in the city, particularly for African Americans. Detroit has experienced little to no growth in its middle class household since 2010, according to the nonprofit think tank that seeks the city's revitalization. Detroit was the nation's second most impoverished big city in 2019, with 30.6% of its residents living below poverty line, compared with Cleveland's 30.8%. Now, they're going to say several factors contribute to the city's stagnant middle class growth, including access to quality employment and a low entrepreneurship rate. But here's the truth of the matter, okay? You've had Democrats in charge of Detroit since pretty much the 50s, especially since 1960 and on up. You've had Democrats running Detroit. Detroit, by the Democrats' own admission, by their bragging, by the way they say that, we do everything right. Right now, Detroit, Michigan should be nirvana. This should be the place that people are just beating the doors down to get in, because it should be a Democrat utopia. It's been run by nothing but Democrats for decades. So why do we see things with 30.6% of its residents living below the poverty line? Worse than Cleveland. Why do we see that? Well, of course, you ask any Democrat, well, it's because of Trump. It's because Republicans. It's because systemic racism. Well, okay. But what do you think this increased gases, increased food prices, what do you think all of these increases in wood, and now they want, you bet, now that we've got Democrats controlling the entire nation, they're going to go after the carbon tax. Guess who the carbon tax directly attacks? Working middle, working lower class. How so? Well, these are the people who can't afford houses that are airtight. They can't afford houses that are freshly insulated. They're freshly roofed. They have all the modern insulation quality stuff. These people live in drafty houses with windows that are drafty. They do everything they can to keep them warm, which means they probably pay an exuberant amount in gas prices every year to heat their houses, which means they're going to get hit with a carbon tax. It is a direct attack on the working middle class. And it shows when you look at reports like this. Rant. That's what I do here too. I'd like to welcome all the guys in the chat. Now that my chat is working, it wasn't. It was just sitting there going, oh, connecting. I could see everybody. If you're listening to this live on Sunday night at just about 20 after 9, get into that KLRNradio.com chat room. Join the Chat Lives Matter crew. Right now we got Jeff, we got Ordy, we got Ron, we got JC in there. And like I said, I'm in and out because my computer is just acting really stupid today. In fact, for a while there, I didn't think I was going to be able to do the show. I'm going, come on, let's go. Come on. It finally got up and going. So we're on it. So yeah, that's what's going on in the state of Michigan. Okay. It's really bizarre. Now we know that Gretch came out and she said, okay, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask in most places anymore. And this is the actual release, I guess, under the updated order from the Michigan Department of Health and Humane Services. Michiganders who are outdoors will no longer need a mask, regardless of their vaccination status. Really? I haven't been wearing a mask outdoors for an entire year, 2 months now. Of course, I live in the middle of nowhere. Anyway. And even when I'm somewhere, I don't wear masks outdoors. It's stupid. It's inane. They're finding out. I mean, just study the national statistics. Being outdoors with a mask on is pointless. Anyways, the biggest change will be that fully vaccinated Michiganders will no longer need to wear a mask indoors. Those who are not vaccinated or have not completed their vaccinations will still be required to wear a mask or a face covering. The broad indoor mask mandate will expire after July 1st, 2021. They're going to see if it works. Of course, if there's the least bit of a spike, she's going to clamp back down. I can guarantee you. And notice, we're coming up on Memorial Day. This is the time that Gretch wants to go to her cabin. She wants to party her butt off, and she doesn't want to be questioned. So yeah, she's going to release the state of Michigan until she's back from her vacation. And when mommy comes back home, oh boy, is everybody going to be in trouble. Anyways, what else is in this thing? Under the VAC to normal plan, God, I hate that. VAC to normal. Who thought of that stupidity? Anyways, hitting 55% of the population vaccinated means Michiganders who were previously working from home can return to the workplace. Oh, goody. That's where we're at right now. Whatever. So that's where Gretch is. And the big thing about it is, I don't know. I look at some of these headlines and I cringe. This one from Click on Detroit. How will new CDC mask changes impact the risk for children under the age of 12? Why do we worry about that? Look at the statistics. A year and a couple of months worth of statistics show that children under the age of 12, it's insignificant. Even the spike that they just experienced wasn't even a spike compared to all the other ages. The death rate is 0. I mean, the death rate's almost complete 0. There's been a handful of kids die from it, and most of them were very, very sick with other comorbidities. And this stupidity reads, children under 12 aren't eligible to get vaccinated and likely won't be able to receive the shot for several months. That means families are facing a lot of difficult decisions about what's safe and what isn't. And see, it's stuff like this that keeps people paranoid. Just look at the statistics. Go on Michigan data, michigan.gov/coronavirus. Look at the statistics. It's not even an issue for kids actually for people under 50. It's pretty insignificant as far as a death rate goes. Looking at this, carrying on, it says children under 12 aren't eligible to get vaccinated. Sims, there's some Megan Sims person. I was really excited. I got my news update on my phone and I screamed that it came down here and said, oh my gosh, the FDA approved it, recalled 13-year-old Megan Sims. In other words, she's going to get a shot in her arm of an experimental vaccine and she's excited about it. Poor child. The family is concerned about one of their kids, says people being able to take off their masks if they're fully vaccinated is a good thing. The problem is if people who are not fully vaccinated also take off their masks, there's a potential for spreading the virus. And my daughter, Caitlin, she can't get vaccinated yet. Okay. If you got the vaccination and your kid gets it and she's under the age of 20, she's just going to get it. and she's going to get better and she's going to go on with life. So if we go somewhere as a family, we decide, oh, this is safe to not wear masks. She still has to, Sim says. No, she doesn't. Stupid. No, she doesn't. And see, this is the type of stuff that's getting put out in the news as fact. And all they have to do is look at the statistics, look at what's going on, and they know that, hey, if my kid gets it, she's going to get it, get over it, and it's going to be okay. They have these people terrified. And now they're doing stupid things. Just some of the stuff I see going on here, we're going to get to it. And I don't really want to spend all the time on COVID, but you need to realize that this is big news that the masks are coming off, but we have a lot of questions ahead of us. How are they going to actually decide who's been vaccinated and who's not without infringing on people's privacy rights, without tagging us like cattle? Woo. It's like, what is going on here? How are they going to actually do it? They don't know. They don't know because if they do this wrong, they're going to end up in court with lawsuits up the wazoo. We're already coming down to the bottom of the hour. When we come back, we're going to look at one of the stupidest ideas for a high school prom you've ever seen, and a couple of other things, including the fishing report. Yes. And trust me, people are out there. They're fishing like crazy. Don't go anywhere. I'm Alan Ray at Circumspice, right side of Michigan. We're going to take a little break. Going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. Promise.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the cornfields of southeastern Michigan. I'm your humble host, Alan Ray. I'm wearing down. I'm kind of tired tonight. I've been pretty busy enjoying this beautiful weekend. Probably really overworked myself yesterday. Had a great time today. Kind of sad that the whole weekend is coming down. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to have a show next week. I have to go up to the Grant area, which is basically just east of Muskegon, Michigan. And I got to go play lumberjack. Yes, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Anyway, we're going to play with chainsaws, kids. So this might be the last time you ever hear from me again. So, here's the stupid news. It's from Breitbart, but I know it's a fact because I've been watching this unravel. A Michigan high school created a 2-tiered price structure for its prom this year. $80 for unvaccinated students and free for those who have received a coronavirus vaccine. Southfield Regional Academic Campus prom is scheduled for June 14th, according to a listing of 2021 graduates. The information from the school district says fully vaccinated attendees attend for free, while not vaccinated students and guests are charged $80. It's not a violation of the law, as we are not requiring individuals to receive the vaccine, or are we prohibiting those without the vaccine from attending, Superintendent Jennifer Martin Green says in an email to residents. Green's email concluded with a disclaimer. Southfield Public Schools does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, gender, disability, age, height, weight, blah, 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 387 genders, and whether you've got things sticking out of your head that look like a Buick, whatever. Anyways, I really hope that the unvaccinated people of Southfield Academy just boycott this thing. Just don't even go. Just make them lose money. Go have your own party somewhere else. That's my advice to you. See, you need to break these people. Every time somebody does something stupid like this, you break them. You break them hard. That's what you do. That's the only thing these people know. They're too stupid to really actually think about what they're doing and what kind of destruction it causes and division and hatred it causes. So what you do is you go to all the students and you go, you know what? This is crap. Let's boycott it. And let's just go have a party out in a field somewhere. And while they spend all this money on DJ and stuff like that, they get none of it back. Say, oh, there you go. Now, don't ever do this stupid stuff again. This is the only thing these people know is if you break them. You break them hard. They're not intelligent people. People who do this stuff are not smart people. They would like you to think that they're intelligent. They would like you to think they got a piece of paper that says, oh, look, I sat in all the classes. They're not. They're dumb. So, moving on. Of course, we all know that Gretch flew down to Florida. If you listen to my little commercial that I've been putting in here the last couple of weeks, we all know that Gretch flew down to Florida. It's coming out now, according to Breitbart. Gretchen Whitmer paid $855 for a seat on a private jet to Florida for a flight costing $27,521. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's office dribbled a bit more information out Friday about her secret Florida trip aboard a private jet in March. Breitbart News caught Whitmer changing her story for this week from her original claim that she traveled at her own expense. Thursday, she would only say that the trip was not a gift and was not paid for at the taxpayer's expense. Friday, Whitmer's chief of staff, Joanne Hulls, told MIRS News the flight cost $27,521 and was paid for by so-called dark money. That's 501c4 nonprofit originally set up to fund Whitmer's transition activities in 2019, now called an executive office account. The fund paid Air Eagle LLC for the excursion. It's not clear if that was the intent all along or only after the secret trip became public. The value was previously estimated to be as much as $40,000. According to Hulls, the governor reimbursed the nonprofit $855. The value it determined was the price of her seat. Whitmer paid for her seat on the flight with her own personal money. Yeah, I'm sure she did. $27,000 for $855. What a bargain. What a bargain. I would like to take a private jet for $855 on a seat, wouldn't you? But anyways, Michiganders, this is the truth. Michiganders are tired of the growing stream of lies coming from Governor Whitmer. Republican Governor's Associate spokesman Chris Gustafson said in a statement, Whitmer's refusal to disclose basic details about her vacation to Florida is simply more proof that she's unfit to lead and it's time to fire the governor. Whitmer has still not addressed who else was on the plane during the 2-hour ride to Palm Beach. So apparently, if you're supposed to stay home, protect yourself from COVID, mask up, do it, unless you're the governor. When you're the governor, you can do pretty much whatever you want. And if anybody questions, you browbeat them and tell them how bad they are. Oh, so here we go. Let's go on to some different news. Planning on bear hunting this year? Well, the time to put in for your bear hunting permit is now. According to the game, 7:30 a.m., it is that time again to put for your annual bear hunting permit for Michigan hunters. Putting in for my Michigan bear hunting permit has been a tradition most of my adult life. Over the years, how you get permit has changed, but the last few years it stayed pretty steady with the point system. Each year from May 1st to June 1st is when you go to your local hunting license dealer and you pay $5 to apply for your bear hunting permit. It really pays to go over the bear hunting digest the Department of Natural Resources puts together each year. This way you know the new rules. You can pick out what area you want to choose for your first choice and second choice hunt. This all really makes getting the permit really quick. When applying and doing your homework, you have better odds of getting picked. So there you have it. It's time to get those bear hunting licenses put in. You gotta do it. I don't do that stuff anymore. I don't hunt anything that weighs more than me anymore. Simple reason, you got to drag it out of the woods. Kids, I'm not 21 anymore. This stuff hurts. If you take down a 175-pound deer and you only weigh 160 pounds and you got to drag that thing through the forest, no. Nope. I'll just hunt the little bunny rabbits. You can pick them up and toss them in a sack. There's going to be 2 people in a Michigan business that's going to be featured on Shark Tank coming up. Plymouth, Michigan. Michael Bashawati and Jeremy Quilico. Now pay attention to this because these guys are onto something pretty good here. They are the entrepreneurs behind Float and Grill. In a press release, the Michigan boaters said the product is made for summertime relaxation. What it does is self-explanatory in the name. It is a grill that can float. Now you're talking. Now you're speaking my language. Float and Grill's press release says you can float down a lazy river, go fishing, boating, enjoy water sports, all while having a grill floating along beside you. On the product's website, Michael said that he was tired of always eating sandwiches and chips while out on his boat all day, so he came up with his own solution. 3 years later, their prototype had come to life and the product is finally available to order. They'll try to impress the judges on the show by showing off the grill's selling points. For example, its flip-resistant material, detachable grill for easy cleaning, multiple built-in cup holders, and a rust-resistant material. The unique summer accessory is available in red or blue, and they are currently working on producing different colors. The floating grill sells for about $229 on their website and can be shipped across the United States. Count me in. Count me in. I'm going to have to click on this to see what it looks like here. While my computer's loading. My computer's running, like I said, at the top of the show, like it's a 1 gig brick, IBM brick. That's what it's running like today. Lower Huron Metro Park. This is kind of cool. Construction is starting this summer on a new space-themed playground. See, cool things are going on. Oh, we're going to come up. You're going to give me a picture of this thing? Floating grill. Where's the pictures? Come on, guys. Do better on your website. We got to have something here. Anyway, in Belleville, after hearing back from the community and receiving a stakeholder input, construction will start this summer on a new space-themed playground at the Lower Huron Metro Park. The unique $1.3 million signature playground is expected to be completed by the end of the year. Planning for the playground began last November. It looks pretty cool, I got to admit. Makes me want to have grandkids. Kids, you listening? Get busy. I want grandkids. The Metro Parks always strive to meet community standards and really they meet their needs quite well. So they're putting up this design of this playground design. I'm looking at it and it looks pretty futuristic, looks pretty spacey. It's going to be a great place for kids. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. For once you get something good, you know. I rant on this show and it gets tiring after a while, but then you look at this and it's pretty cool. I can dig this. All right. Back to the floating grill. I've got a picture up of this thing. Sort of cool. It looks like it's kind of on a hard plastic thing with it looks like just like a little grill that they attach somehow to a little hard plastic float. And it does have a couple of cup holders. I can deal with this. I could have one of these in the pool. That would be kind of neat. Floating grill. I'm in. All it needs is below it is a little cooler. That's all it needs. You add a cooler to it and I think you'd be 100%. There you have it. This doesn't really have a whole lot to do with Michigan, but it kind of does. A Michigan family has moved out of the state. They moved to Ohio. Gasp. Why would you do that? Well, since the 1990s, this is according to Fox 47 News, since the 1990s, diabetes advocacy groups estimate the cost of insulin has gone up by over 12,000%. 1,200%. The drug is used primarily by type 1 diabetics, but can also be used by a smaller number of type 2 diabetics, depending on their condition. Now, there are 3 different kinds of insulin. There's rapid-acting insulin, long-acting insulin, and the super-fast-acting insulin. Some diabetics use just one kind of insulin, while others use a combination between the rapid-acting and the long-acting. Now, there's 3 manufacturers producing roughly 90% of the insulin globally. That would be Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi. Now, these people are leaving Michigan to go to Ohio because the price of insulin in Michigan is a lot higher than it is in Ohio. Why is that? And these people that did that, the struggle to find insulin has been a 13-year journey for these people called the Lockwoods, with the last diagnosis only emphasizing the difficulty and the cost. At the time, the family was on Medicaid because Rachel and Jim Lockwood worked in the nonprofit sector that did not offer employer-sponsored health insurance. The type of insulin their children were using was suddenly pulled from their coverage, is why. So the Lockwoods began to make regular trips to Canada to get insulin needed for their kids at a fraction of the cost. When the pandemic took hold, however, Canada shut its borders. We know that. The option to travel for cheaper insulin was no longer possible. See, that's what I want to know. Why is this stuff so expensive in the United States? Well, 2 words. Artificial economy. The way we have insurance set up, the way we do things here, creates an artificial economy. Insulin does not cost what they sell it for. Insulin it's been pretty much a standard for decades now. The insulin these people are using probably costs $1 for a vial. But because of an artificial, overinflated economy, we're paying through the nose for this stuff. And now people are having to move just because they can't afford insulin? Ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to say who was lowering all the prices on medicines like this and which president of the United States that currently took office has let that all lapse and it's jacking the price back up again. We won't go there, right? We're not going to do it. But there you have it. And then you got, of course, all the stuff that's going on with the pipeline that happened, all the stuff that it's starting to settle down again. The people in the South are starting to get gas again, I hope. Gas stations are starting to open again, I hope. And the former governor of the state of Michigan, Jennifer Granholm, who is now the secretary of the Department of Energy, which I really don't think that's her. I really think it's a body double. I don't see the mole. I don't see it. I see where it used to be. I'm looking at a picture of it. It's right there. It should have been right there. Maybe did they blank it out or did she have it removed? Maybe a rat chewed it off. I don't know. Anyways, Department of Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm admitted during a press briefing on the Colonial Pipeline cyber attack Tuesday, the best way to transport fuel across parts of the country is by, drum roll please, pipeline. What do you know? Pipeline. You know, like what we're doing now, what Gretchen Whitmer is trying to shut down right now, which is going to make it less efficient, which is going to use choo-choo trains to bring across from Canada, semi-trucks, all kinds of gas engines to make it worse. Isn't that special? It's special. It really is. These people are not smart. I'm telling you right now. I mean, Whitmer makes Granholm look like a genius. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The only thing that keeps me from really going after Granholm that much is at least she made us a standard ground state. So there's that. One more thing before we get to the best part of the show. I've been asking myself this too. How are businesses going to enforce the who wears a mask, who doesn't wear a mask mandate? Well, according to this report from MLive, Michigan released specifics Friday night about how businesses must enforce the latest version of the state's mask mandate, which of course went into effect 9 a.m. on Saturday. The new mandate will allow fully vaccinated people, which means they're 2 weeks removed from their final shot, to ditch the mask in most outdoor and indoor spaces. Businesses must make a, quote, good faith effort, unquote, to make sure unvaccinated people wear masks per the order. That's going to go well. To count as a good faith effort, a business can do any of the three options. Put up signs to say unvaccinated people must still wear masks. Ask customers if they are vaccinated or have any other exemptions, or simply require everybody to wear a mask. So there you have it. They have to make a good faith effort. Yep. Most options I've seen are number one, putting up signs saying, if you're not vaccinated, please wear a mask. And most people are saying, yeah, I'll show you my vaccination. I was vaccinated. May not have been for COVID, but I was vaccinated. So I'm not lying. Oh, we're already 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Do you know what that means? It's the best time of the whole show.
Bet you're going fishing all of the time. Baby going fishing too. Bet your life, your sweet wife gonna catch more fish than you. Many fish bites if you got good bait. Oh, here's a little tip that I'ma like to relate. With my pole mama and my line, I'm a-gone fishing. Yes, I'm gone fishing, and the baby gone fishing too. I went on down.
It is time for the Michigan Fishing Report. Southeast Lower Peninsula. In Lake Erie, walleye are being caught off the Metro Park Marina in 8 to 10 feet when using a jig with rubber worms and a live minnow. In the Detroit River, walleye anglers have done well down near the mouth and in the Trenton Channel. Most are using a jig with a rubber worm and a live minnow. Lake St. Clair, anglers are catching preseason smallmouth bass between 9 Mile Road and Masonic Boulevard in 6 to 8 feet of water with an artificial goby or a tadpole. Perch and walleye action is very slow in that area. In Lexington, the boat launch is under construction and will be closed until mid-July. Port Sanilac, boats are trolling in 45 to 65 feet caught. They're catching lake trout out there, coho and a couple of steelhead. Most are using planer boards and downriggers with spoons and lead core. Pier fishing is kind of slow. Saginaw Bay, northeast winds had the water stirred up and the fishing was rough. A couple of walleye were caught just east of Spoils Island in 20 feet when using crankbaits. Lake trout are being found in 80 to 100 feet when using spoons off Quinnipiac. Walleye were caught in 10 to 12 feet. Water temperatures on the east side were 52 to 54 degrees, which is still kind of on the cool side, but walleye fishing is starting to improve, but it's still inconsistent. In Saginaw Bay or Saginaw River, yellow perch are starting to slow down. However, boat anglers are still catching small ones along with crappie when using minnows near the bay aggregate cut. A couple of walleye were caught in the stone docks in Essexville when using blade baits and jigs with rubber minnows. And the Tittabawassee River, white bass continue to pick up. Walleye were caught downstream of the Dow Dam and the State Street Bridge. No big numbers, but a few here and there. Most are jigging an artificial or live bait. Southwest Lower Peninsula, panfish are lurking around in shallow waters, but it's still too early for any of the spawning activity for bluegill. I'm ready when it happens. Trust me. St. Joseph's, boats were able to get out there and are catching a mixed bag of mostly kings and coho salmon with a few lake trout mixed in. Most are fishing in 50 feet or less as the fish seem to be concentrated around the pier heads. Good number of coho were caught very deep. Pier anglers had slow fishing for all species with only a couple of coho taken. South Haven, boat anglers are targeting salmon. We're catching mostly lake trout in 45 to 65 feet. Pier anglers are catching the occasional coho, but the overall action was slow. No perch to report. Grand Haven, boats are caught a few salmon with occasional lake trout in 40 to 90 feet with blue and orange spoons. Yellow perch action was slow. Anglers could be found at the end of the pier. However, fishing was slow. Grand River near Grand Rapids, a couple of walleye are being caught above the dam by those using crawlers and minnows. Muskrat Lake, fair crappie action was using minnows in Clinton County. What else we got here? Muskegon, salmon fishing has been slow with only a few caught in 40 to 80 feet with orange and green spoons. Orange and green seem to be the colors right now. Muskegon Lake, anglers are getting some walleye down near the channel and the Coast Guard station. No big numbers, but most are getting a couple of fish per tip when using blade baits. Northeast Lower Peninsula, Rogers City, when boat anglers can get out, a few lake trouts were caught near the 40 Mile Point, Seagull Point, and south towards Swan Bay, and Adams Point in 45 to 80 feet of water. In Alpena, those heading out were getting mostly lake trout straight out of the harbor and off North Point in 40 to 60 feet. Try Dodgers with spin glows or spoons. In Thunder Bay River, one of the gates at the dam was opened after the recent rain, and this created high, fast, and muddy water, and it appears it may have flushed the steelhead out into the big lake. Whoops. Suckers are still present, but the numbers are dwindling. Oscoda, Atlantic salmon, steelhead, and walleye were caught, and the heads of the pier when casting body baits and spoons or when still fishing with minnows. The Au Sable River, those trolling or drifting body baits and crawlers, caught a few walleye. Higgins Lake was still slow, however, a few boats are going out for trout and perch. Houghton Lake, the water's still too cold. Crappie have been caught in the canals. A couple of walleye were found at night when casting crankbaits in the shallows. Tawas, walleye were caught near the artificial reef when casting or jigging with minnows. Those trolling caught Atlantic salmon, Chinook, and coho along with a couple of walleye on spoon, body baits, or a jig tipped with plastic or minnows in 15 to 30 feet of water. Northwest Lower Peninsula, Charlevoix, no boats have been out, and not many anglers were out fishing the channel. Petoskey, anglers' pressure was light at the mouth of the river and on the piers. Those using soft plastic and crankbaits caught a couple of pike, smallmouth bass, and suckers off the breakwall when fishing with the riverside. Harbor Springs, one of my favorite vacation places, had a light number of boat anglers going out. Most trips they have done well, catching mostly lake trout northwest of the harbor point. The fish are caught near the bottom in 110 to 120 feet with spoons, flies, and spin glows. In Traverse City, the water is still very cold up in that area. In the East Bay, a few Cisco were caught in 30 to 60 feet when casting or jigging blades, baits, and casting spoons. Manistee, the catch rates were hit or miss. Fish were anywhere from 30 to 120 feet along the shoreline and straight out from the harbor. Pier anglers had no luck. In Ludington, good numbers in lake trout were caught straight out south towards the projects and north towards the Big Sable River. Most were in 45 to 80 feet. However, 55 to 65 feet seemed to be the hot spot. A couple of steelheads were caught. Pier fishing was slow. Upper Peninsula, Great White North. On Tonagon, lake trouts are becoming a little more active. Primarily coho and lake trout are being caught with a few browns and occasional steelhead or chinook. A few anglers are finding fish consistently, while most are getting one fish or two per trip. In the Marquette, though the water's cold, fishing has been slow. Anglers are picking up a few lake trout. Train, the ramp has been in there for weeks now. Coho are in the shallow waters, and we're hitting on jigs and stick baits with a slower presentation. Slow it down, guys. Grand Marias, pier anglers targeting whitefish continue to do well. However, catch rates are slightly lower, and the fish were running a bit smaller. Winds from the north have been favorable. However, it's taking some anglers longer to catch their limit. Very few boat anglers were out, and those that did make it out, they caught a few lake trout. So there you have it. That is the Michigan fishing report for this week. It's starting to heat up out there. I can't wait to get the boat in the water, at least the kayak in the water. Get some, I'm going to hit them crappie up as they're starting to spawn this year. I'm looking forward to a good time. Really am. And that's pretty much the show tonight. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I'm loving doing this show. I'm going to be back Friday night with a Hardcore Patriot. Lord willing, and things don't keep crashing on this computer here. Like I said, I'm heading up north coming Saturday. Going to play lumberjack, going to cut some trees down. Don't know if I'm going to have time for a show to do all the prep work. I'm going to try to be diligent and keep up on what's going on in this fine state as the week goes on for once. It's kind of what I did this week, and it paid off because I really ran out of time before I got here. And then when I tried to get everything up and running, the computer is running slow, and I'm going, okay, we're going to have some problems here if this doesn't get going soon. So we made it. Life is good. Everything worked out. Everybody have a great week. Keep it locked on KLRNradio.com all week long. Just all these shows coming at you this week. They're all great. We've got great talent, great content, and there's going to be something on KLRNradio.com that is going to pique your interest because we have it all. Trust me. The only thing we don't have is a show about llamas. Any takers on that one? Welcome to the club. I'm Alan Ray. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. God bless the great state of Michigan. We will talk again soon.